Looks good. I think we're okay to go. There we are, up and running. Good morning, good morning. It's been a busy morning on Skype as well, too. Just got off Skype here, a couple of Skype calls this morning. Okay, we're just picking up where I left off on Monday. Rolling along here. We'll finish this small one, move along, maybe do another one here. We might start the big head today. I'm not really quite sure. We'll see how it goes for time. Did I manage to talk with Mom? Yes. Keeping tabs on my life here, are you guys? Actually, something else too I mentioned. I was in Ome yesterday. If you see, I can't see from where I am right now, but if you see my mother come online, let me know if you see her on, because I've got something I want to show her. Anyway, let's get some work done first. There's stuff to talk about, stuff to show from yesterday. I know, I have to say right away, before I went to Ome yesterday, on Monday's stream, I mentioned I was going to take the video camera and try and get some video of doing the wood cutting stuff we were doing. I took the camera, but there's no video, I'm sorry, Anna. We just really didn't have time. We were busy, totally straight through. It was a bit chaotic, getting the bandsaw set up and trying to figure out how to use it, and not having some success at first, and then we were struggling with it before we got some good results. So I don't have any video. I brought some blocks back, which I'll show you, but I don't have any video, I'm sorry. It's a quiet morning in Asakusa here. It's been raining through the night, so the sidewalks and stuff are all wet. The street is wet. But I don't think it's raining at the moment out there. So, who's here this morning? Okay. Skype. What do you mean you're less important? Skype was family. One, it was my daughter and my granddaughter I was talking to just now. Then yesterday morning it was my mother and my brother from Germany. I don't think you're less, well, maybe you're less important, but whatever. Soka, John's getting ready for coming. Yeah. Yeah, the print we're making now will be available for order. Yes, not yet. And just once we start, as soon as we do test printing, and we realize that the blocks are looking good, I'm assuming that the blocks are looking good, then at that point we'll put an order page up. But we're still away from it. There's going to be another bit of delay because even though progress has been moving forward quite a bit here recently, I'm going to have to put this away very soon now, like as in tomorrow or something, I've got to make our annual gift print. And I was in OMA yesterday and the staff was all over me. Dave, where's the blocks? Where's the blocks? We got to get started. Because they're sort of not panicking, but they're panicking. The gift print goes open every year on October 20th. The page goes open and there's people waiting for it. And October 20th is like less than 3 weeks away. And I'm still in the first stages of production in that print. So I'll have to interrupt work on his Octopus to do that. And then once the gift print is in hand and production is underway and it's turned over to the printers, I then have to get to work on the first print of next year's subscription series. Because that's got to be done sometime. The blocks have got to be done by the middle of October or so. So his Octopus is going to be pushed back and pushed back and pushed back even more. We have other carvers on staff, but they're all busy. Kawasaki-san at the moment is doing loot number 12. And she's working concurrently on that with the Ukiyo Heroes print, the last one from last year's Kickstarter campaign. Two Souls Entwined. And then she'll get started after that. She'll get started on the second print in next year's subscription series. And Chon-san, our young genius carver from Hong Kong, he's working on sushi cats. He's finished the key block. He's working on the color blocks. And there are going to be like 10, I forget what it is. It's like 9 pieces of wood both sides. It's crazy. There's so many little small areas of color for all the different pieces of sushi and the clothing decorations and different wood grains in the building. It's going to take a lot of blocks, that one. And then Yumi-san, our other carver, our fourth carver, there's no ranking, but our fourth carver, she's working on another owl print for the shop. Not related to the owl we did last year. And she can't work full-time. She's got her own shop, her own business. Her family has a business. So yeah, there's 4 of us working here carving. 2 of them full-time carvers, and 2 of us, me and Yumi-san, part-time carvers. Is this our shoe lady? Here she comes. Gotta get out there and see her one day. Really curious now what she looks like. It's gotta be Miss Business Lady, absolutely. That kind of a forthright going down the street. Very strong heels, bang, bang, bang. Bit scary. I don't know what time she normally comes. Is this early? I said the other day 8:15, but I was just pulling off the top of my head. We'll have to watch a little bit more carefully. If we're going to stalk her, let's really stalk her properly. What I'm guessing, there's a train station just up the street, so she's got off the train and going up to wherever she works, or something like that, I suppose. And if you're one train early, it's 8:08, and if you get the next train, it's 8:15, whatever. You know, Cameron is not here at the same time every day. He takes different, Well, Grandma's here. Okay, yeah. All right. So, I went to grandma, whatever, mom. I went to Ome yesterday, and under your instructions, and a bit of background for the stream. My mother, some years back, when they were doing one of their moving houses or whatever, after the kids had all grown up and left home, they downsized any number of times. My parents, after the kids left home. And she gave us a photo album and stuff. She went to their photo album, gave Dave his pictures, gave my brother Simon his pictures, and gave my sister Sherry her pictures and stuff. And she also gave us some other stuff. And she's been a bit concerned about whether we're taking care of them or not. And she asked me the other day, do you still have that thing I gave you a while ago? Are you taking care of it? I said, yeah, I'll take care of it. But she didn't quite trust me. She thinks, oh, Dave will probably throw something like that away. I said, no, I'm taking care of it. Don't worry. Anyway, the long story short, what she did was, I'll zoom out a bit here. When she was cleaning up, she gave each of the kids the specific things that they had when they were little children. And this, according to her, this is my first teddy bear. Am I really doing this, showing on the stream Dave's first teddy bear? Whatever, I don't remember this at all. She does, and when she sees this, I gotta tell you, here you are, Mom. It's still around. It's got clothes that she made for it some years later. And this is, so I'm told, the first teddy bear that I sat and sucked when I was doing this. So here you are, Mom. And the thing is, the reason she's going to want to see this, I've got it on the table here. She asked me, does it still squeak? And I wasn't quite sure what she meant, but my mom said yesterday on the Skype call, she says, when you squeeze it, it squeaks. And Mom, I have to say, I have bad news for you. The bear is still here, but can we give some CPR here? I believe the squeak is no more. So there's the good news, Mom, and there's the bad news. The bear is okay, he's fine, he's doing well, he's ready for the next generation if you wish to do this. My daughter and granddaughter are coming next month in October. October 16th, my daughter is visiting with my new granddaughter. And maybe we'll pass it on or something, who knows, we'll see. As far as the clothes go, I showed some on a stream before, my mother did fabulous knitting. She knitted all kinds of super clothes for all kinds of stuff. My daughters have drawers full of dolls with clothes that my mother made and stuff like that. Anyway, there you go, Mom. Thanks for reminding me about it yesterday. And just so you know, we are taking care of these things that you asked me to take care of, so no problem. And now, back to work. zoom in a bit. Okay, I zoomed out for the bear to show. Right. This interesting question about the microscope. I know Asuka-san, Asuka-sensei, Asuka-san, whatever, the other carver. We chatted about this, you know, his eyes are the same as mine. If he didn't have glasses, he's out of business, and same with me. If I didn't have glasses on the scope and stuff, I'm out of business. The scope is not an essential for our job here. I know I need glasses for sure, and then we have another lens, which a lot of carvers in town use. They have a lens like this. It goes over the bench and down, and we look through it. As far as I know, I'm the only one using a scope. And the scope isn't an essential. I know. Hi, zoom. There's very little work that I do here. When I'm doing the absolute finest hair, the scope really helps. Mostly we use it, as I've said before. The scope is my glasses. The left and right are focused differently to suit my glasses. It helps me see a little bit larger, but mostly it keeps me in the same focus so the camera can stay in the same spot. When I'm doing this without the scope, I move the block, and the camera just can't keep up with me. So there's a number of reasons why we're using this. But Asuka-san, we've talked about this. I brought him over here. Try it. He says, no. So he feels that it's a step too far. And he feels, I think wrongly, but he feels that it's too much of an assistance. And he wants, you know, like we don't want to use power tools. We don't want to use, you know, lasers and stuff like that. And he has some sort of feeling that this is in that kind of a league, that by using a tool like this is too much assistance. And he only says it because he's never tried it. He doesn't know it, you know. But maybe, you know, if he really does start having trouble with his eyes, maybe we can give him another push. I don't know. No idea. It really, you know, I was going to say it doesn't matter. I know there's a situation here with both Asuka-san and myself. We're in our 60s. We're both 66. And when we were in our, whatever you name the numbers, 30s, 40s, and 50s, our job in society was to carve. Make prints, do the physical work for carving, get the stuff out into society. And now, at our age now, our job actually has changed. Both of us, he and I, both of us are in the same position. We have a ton of experience. We have sort of a reputation. People look at us and want to learn from us. And I think now our job, more than actually making prints ourselves, our job is to use our resources and our training and our, you know, our reservoir of skills and do what we can to build up this craft and pass on these things. And he and I both doing the same thing. I do it mostly with like YouTube and the general production and promotion that we do here. And he does it by teaching. He's got an actual school. People pay, you know, weekly fees, monthly fees, whatever, and come in and he trains them. Yeah. So I think that's the way he and I should be using our resources at the moment. Rather than all day long working to make prints ourselves, we should now be, as we get older, we should now be less concentrated on the making and more concentrated on the other aspect, making sure this skill set gets promoted and passed around and you know. And that's what we're doing. He's doing that with his teaching, his Takumi Hanga workshop, and I'm doing it, of course, by building Moko Hankan and making videos and stuff. Okay, next up, let's handle this tentacle. But before I can take this paper off, I've got to know what's happening up here. Let's find my original. So it's a long answer to the question. As he gets older and his eyes get no good, I think it doesn't matter. You can teach it. Even if you're blind, you could still teach it. Laser blocks, I don't have it to show you. There's some real interesting information on the laser thing coming around. I don't know, so far I've seen a couple of, there's a place down the street, they make little laser blocks. They do a New Year card designs, little pieces of wood, they laser into it, next year's rabbit or whatever it is. it's unusable for us because they've just burned in with a laser straight down, too shallow, it's almost unprintable. We had an experience a couple of Mondays ago, 2 Mondays ago. I had a visit from young Yamamoto-san who was printing for us, and a friend of his had come up with some old prints. They brought them over to show us, are they valuable, blah, 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 blah. The prints were okay. The boy was really interesting. He's been experimenting with doing laser work for making blocks so that his friend Yamamoto can print them. And they told me this, and I said, yeah, whatever, one day it'll be okay, but at the moment the laser's just nothing. We're way ahead of them. And he and Yamamoto-san looked at each other, and like they weren't sure what to say. Is this okay? And I said, what's the question here? What's the question? And Yamamoto-san said, well, my friend here has actually been experimenting with laser stuff to make blocks. So I said, bring it out, let's see what's going on. So he didn't have any blocks with him, but he had the printed samples with him. And oh my God, I needed my microscope to be able to see the lines on this. This guy has actually explored this. He's got some photocopies of old ukiyo-e prints. He's rendered them vector graphics or something into Illustrator, and he's laser carved them. And it is spectacular. Spectacular. We talked about it a little more. He's doing it so far only on very soft wood. It's not cherry wood, it's on Shino wood. But my God, they are spectacular. It's way, way, way microscopically finer than I can work. He's got some, I forget, he described it wasn't the blue carbon dioxide laser, it was something else. He's experimenting with different wavelengths and different lights and stuff. So the point being, the lasers now are catching up. And there was a great backstory to this. I'm not sure if I should, whatever. He talked to the president of the company who was making a particular laser he's experimenting with. And to help promote this or get it going, they went to see, name unpermitted, somebody else making woodblock prints here in Tokyo. Very established, a name you hear on this stream all the time. And that guy threw them out. Literally threw them out. He got angry, he blew his top, and he threw them out. What are you doing trying to muck around with this stuff? We're traditional carvers. And that's, to me, that's totally the wrong approach to take. You know, I myself, I'm not going to switch the lasers, but it's here. People are going to be using them. Let's do what we can to whatever, show them how to do it properly, and maybe there'll be a Woodblock Street print house next door where they're carving with lasers and printing with printing and whatever. I don't know, no idea. But it's pointless for me to throw the guy out. Let's have a look at what he's doing, show him how to do it properly, show him what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. So anyway, he's really happy that I wasn't upset about it. They're going to come back in a couple of weeks. He's going to bring me the blocks and some samples, and we will have a great blog post about it and maybe even a stream about it. So the lasers are here. They've been coming up behind me. I've heard the footsteps and the hooves coming up behind me for a long time. And after seeing these samples last week, I got to tell you, the lasers have arrived. Does it mean I'm out of a job? No, of course not. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let me get this next bit in here. What we've got to do here is this. We're gonna carve dots. We're going to carve dots onto this part, and most of this design there's a stripe, colored stripe along the edge. So let's have a look and see what's here on this side. We're looking at this tentacle. Now this is all misregistered. You can see there is an orange stripe all the way. It's up here. It's misregistered. This orange has been pushed north, so that orange should be in this zone here. So this tentacle has the orange. Again, this is misregistered. Look at that. That orange should be right against the sucker. So the solid orange around the suckers, breaking up into dots, and then along the edge of the tentacle, there's an orange stripe. So got that. Now we know what we're doing. So before we rip off this paper, the orange around the suckers is already here. The block is here. We will be carving dots in the middle area. And I now have to carve this stripe along the edge. Yeah, the lasers are here. It's easy for me to laugh about that stuff and just say we'll look at them and enjoy them and see what they're doing. But it's an open question for the younger carvers here, people like John-san and Kawasaki-san. Should they legitimately be worried about this? They've developed this carving skill. And are they going to be out of a job, I mean, I'm laughing at it, but the younger people, I don't think they can laugh quite so easily, It's easy for me to express confidence in that people will still be interested in our products because people will want to hear the story and they want to see human hands doing stuff, But imagine it went the way that, for example, the phones and stuff are going, where the machines make them with supreme, beautiful, staggeringly beautiful technology. And the physically produced object that the machines can make becomes much more beautiful than the object that we make. And maybe we would have something to worry about. I don't know. Perhaps I'm being overly optimistic. Okay, there we are. The line is carved. The suckers are carved out, so we no longer need the information from this. We're going to wash it off and paste on the dots. Yeah, I mean, the larger question, like you're saying here, printing itself, of course. The printing presses arrived in Japan over 100 years ago, destroyed, annihilated the printing business, which was all woodblock, leaving just this little corner of it still left alive. So the process is going to happen, it's not stoppable. We just have to make sure we keep adding value. And maybe the value we add will be value added in a different form. There it is. I mean, right here, this Twitch stream. This is value being added to our process. The finished print that eventually goes out, this Octopus print, it will be there in the market. It will have value partly because of what we're doing now. Somebody making it, telling a story, showing how it's done, showing what's good, showing what's bad. As long as we just keep that in mind, the lasers can come and do what they want. It's okay. Oh, I've put my glue on here a little bit in advance. I'm getting my steps scrambled here. I haven't got the tracing ready yet. What am I doing? You wait a moment. Too busy chatting with you guys. Zoom back out a bit. So this is it. This is the tracing. Here's the pattern of dots. Is that another shoe lady or is it the same one? Same pair of shoes? Now it's dry. Yeah, looks good. There we are. Okay, back to it. Chat seems to be fairly heavy here today. Sorry not to catch all of this. Where are we here? Still need printers? Yes, that's another question. You know, mechanically printing these would be very, very much more difficult than mechanically carving them. I don't think it's a shoe guy. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes. The magic trick. So exactly. So if I think my daughter might be watching this morning. I was chatting with my daughter on Skype just before the stream started today. She may have kept the thing open, and if she sees this comment about the magic trick, she will remember an episode she and I had. One of the saddest experiences I've ever had. I say sad, but I'm laughing as I say this, you know. Bittersweet, that's what, there's this word in English, bittersweet. So, about a magic trick, you know. So, when I was a daddy, you know, when my kids were here, living together with a family, I used to make toys and puzzles for the kids and stuff like that. And one of this, I don't even remember how it started. I was in some shop, whatever, and I saw this little how to do magic tricks kind of stuff. And this shop had these little sort of, I can't describe this too carefully because it would give it away. They had little magic tricks that you could purchase. For example, one would be a little dummy set of cards that had some cards, you know. So you buy the magic trick, you practice for a while, and then you show your friends, look at this, I can do a magic trick, you know. So I got a couple of these things. They weren't with playing cards, but they were magic tricks that you buy the little trick thing, learn how to use it, practice it, and then there you are, bang bang, you can amaze your kids by making a handkerchief disappear. Stuff like this, you know. You probably already know the one I'm talking about. It's easy to do. But little kids are easy to fool, so whatever. So I got this little magic trick about making a handkerchief appear and disappear. Very, very easy. You learn how to do it. And I did it for my kids, and they're like, "Oh my God, show us, show us, show us." And the rule is you don't show magic tricks. You know, you just say, "No, whatever, blah 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 blah." And they really want to see. Please tell me, and whatever you know. You say, "No, put it away." Then the next time there's other kids that help you, pull it out. Dad, show us a trick. And over the years, it just became this thing. That Dad had this little repertoire of small little magic tricks he could do. And when the kids would say, show us that trick, show us a trick, some friends come over after school, and Dad would, you know, if he felt like it, he would show them the trick, and away they go. So this is from when my kids were really, really small, you know, like from 3, 4, 5 years old up until whatever. I never, ever showed them the trick. They always ask, show us how it works, show us how it works, how do you do that? And always I said, no, it's okay. You know, it spoils the fun. Okay, years go by, my kids grow up, they leave home, no problem. The magic trick is slowly forgotten in time, you know. And one day, this is back in Ome, one of my daughters, Humi-chan, she's the one who might be listening today, I don't know. She's the one who's just had a daughter of her own. She was visiting me, and this would be time when she would be about late teens. She's 17 or 18 or something, you know, she's been gone from my house for a few years. She went to high school over in Canada. But she came back to visit during the summer holidays or something. So there's Humi-chan, she's visiting me. This is, you know, she's 18 or years old or something, whatever. And she's in the house and writing a letter or something. Dad, I need a stapler. Where's the stapler? I say, it's in the stationery drawer. Go over there. It's in the second drawer down from the top, blah, 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 blah. Without really thinking anything about it. So she goes to the stationery drawer. She digs around. And I'd totally forgotten about this because it was years and years before. But the stationery drawer was where I kept these little trick things, the little gear, the little thing that turns out to be the thing to do the magic trick. And I hadn't even thought about it. It's just in the drawer there. So she's digging around in this drawer trying to find a stapler. And she finds this little thing and picks it up. And there's enough information on the thing itself which she must have thought first, what's this? And then the thing clicked. She saw the same colored handkerchief. This is the handkerchief that Dad used to make disappear. And there's the trick thing. And she saw the trick thing, and instantly she then understood how the trick worked. And I hadn't, she screamed from the living room where this thing was going on. I'm like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? And she comes towards me with this thing in her hand. And I realize what she's found. And finally, after all these years, she now knows the trick. And I can't remember the exact words we said to each other, but I remember what happened next, you know. She just starts crying, you know. Of course, remembering all these good times we had before, and now she knows the trick and stuff like this. And I start crying, and we're standing there bawling and laughing, you know. And she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And she really didn't want to know. You know, it comes to that. I didn't want to know this. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to spoil the magic. You know, my dad was this wonderful magician who did these things. And now I realize, you know, he's not a magician. He's just this guy that had this stupid little bitty piece of plastic, you know. And it was really touching. It was really fun. They don't want to know. The kids will ask you, show me, show me, show me, show me, show me. And I did the right thing. I never showed them. Because although their voices say, tell me, tell me, tell me, they don't want to know. This is probably the same thing with real magicians on the stage in Las Vegas or something, you know. We all say that, oh my God, I'd like to know how he did that. But that's probably really not true. We really don't want to know. We're quite happy enjoying the thing and enjoying being fooled. And if at the end of every stage show in Vegas says, okay, here we are, let's pull the curtain back and show how that worked. That wouldn't, no, just no, no, no. Part of the game is, of course, even though we don't say so, we want to be fooled. We want to be part of that magic and stuff. You know? So just a little bit of the pleasure of her childhood evaporated in that moment, you know. And I think I told her, I said, don't ever show your sister this, okay? Don't tell her what's going on. And she said, I didn't want to say this, I didn't want to know, but you can't erase it. I had so much fun with my kids those years, you know. It could be that I'm just sort of remembering the good stuff and you don't remember the bad stuff. I suppose it's possible. I don't know. I can't argue that point. But when I look back on those years, you know, and their mother left us when they were about, you know, I don't know, they were about 6 years old and 4 years old. Their mother left the family, and I lived together with those guys for the next 10 years before they went to school overseas. And what fun we had. My God, we had so much fun. Remember, I worked at home. I didn't go out to a company, so I was always working at home. You know, get up in the morning, we do the breakfast, they go to school, I get to work. When they come home from school, oops, broke my knife. Look at this, see it? There's the little triangle. Trying to get the triangle off there, and it's magnetized, so the triangle doesn't. Here it is. There it is. There's the triangle of steel. Can you see it? Oops. So, time for a bit of sharpening. Boom, 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 boom. Why did the knife break just at that point? Interesting. Anyway, let's sharpen. This blade has been really good. You know, we talked about this before. When we started this blade a while back, it broke many, many times right back at the beginning. But since then, it's been very stable. And I think, I just abused it a little bit too much there. You know, well, you see what I'm doing? I'm going around these dots. I'm twisting, twisting, twisting. Just a bit too much twisting on the corner. Nothing dramatic. Okay, let's do this. There's something else too. It's 8:42. Cameron's coming, I guess. She'll be here in a minute. I've got some more show and tell. Not Yahoo print, not auction prints or anything. We were over at Oma yesterday, flattening some wood, planing some wood, and I got to show you a bit about that. So let me sharpen this, and then, if you remind me, if I forget, let's switch to the wood story here. Does it get hot? No, it's too small. No, it's when you're grinding steel and stuff, people that are doing plane blades or something, the grinding wheel coming round, of course you could really burn your blade on a grinding wheel. I would never, ever, ever, ever use such a thing with such a small blade. But we don't need it because there's so little steel coming off. I can do it in a few minutes work. But if you had a big, wide, or this one, this is a problem. Look, we talked about this before. I saw this on an auction a while ago. It's a scooping chisel I'd like to learn to use, but it's broken. And one reason why I haven't actually started using this is because this is going to need a heck of a lot of grinding. It's got to come back about 8 millimeters, over ½ an inch. And this really needs a grindstone and careful grinding to bring it back into shape. And that has a real chance of getting too hot. You got to spray it with water or do it bit by bit. Be careful how much pressure you use. But I don't have a grinding wheel, so that's why this thing, I really, really, really would like to try to learn how to use this. But I just don't have the time. It would take hours and hours and hours on this stone to do this. So it's just sitting there waiting for one day sort of thing. But no, on this little stone, with this amount of steel, there's nothing that gets too hot at all. A good question. If it does get too hot, you destroy your temper and you lose your, I don't mean your human temper, I mean the temper of the steel gets destroyed. But at our level, on a handstone like this, it's not a factor. Looking good to me. It's so quick, you know, there's so little steel that needs to be taken off. The stones are so effective at that. It's such a quick job. Sharpening is no big deal at this level. This is the stone I saw in one of the streams the other day, and I was reading the chat in the evening, having dinner. I was looking back through the chat to see what I'd missed. And somebody made the comment that this third stone is a piece of marble. I think there's a bit of confusion there. I know I did use that word marble as in a hard stone. It's actually still a stone. It's you know, one of these stones they cut out of a mountain here in Japan for finishing. I don't know the actual name of the specific stone. I don't think it's marble. But what I was just trying to say was that the stone itself is so hard that there's no grinding away of the stone itself, really. These smaller stones, they grind away as you're using them, and it's the bits of stone that scratch the steel, and that's what makes the sharpening action when you're using stones. But this last one doesn't really do that, and that's why we need this mud. This is a Nagara stone, a really soft stone. And just like this, already, you see this white powdery thing on the surface of the stone here. That's pieces of Nagara that have come off. So this is a very, very fine bits of stone from the Nagara that have come off. You can also use polishing compound, right? You can buy a little powder that you brush on here to do this. So when I said it was marble, what I meant was it's a marble-like, totally flat, smooth surface with a bit of polishing compound on the top. And it's the polishing compound that does the shining of this blade, taking out the last small scratches and nicks. We're way past Cameron time. I wonder what's happening. Sometimes he's very early. Because it's not a question of he's late today. He runs his own schedule, his own time. He has no specified hours. You must start at 8:30 and finish by blah, blah, blah. He runs his own schedule. He keeps track. And the employment contract we have just requires a certain number of hours per month. And it's not determined when he does those hours. It's up to him. But because it's the function of his job works best when other people are around, so of course he does his job during the daytime when we're here. What did I do with the block? Oh, yeah, I was going to show you the other wood. Okay, let's do that. Too many stories. Okay, I went to Ome yesterday, getting some old wood blocks ready. Without wanting to ramble too much about this, the story is pretty simple. We have had real trouble finding new cherry wood. We're still doing it. We're still trying to buy trees. We're drying wood as I speak. Sitting to you here, we've got all different kinds of wood drying, ready for use in making wood blocks. But we haven't been able to find really nice wood. So we're still doing that. We're still exploring it. But in addition to this, we've now started to recycle. We're getting older blocks that are not usable anymore, and we are now making new wood blocks out of them. And I had thought there was no problem with this, but an interesting issue has come up. I don't know if Jed's in the stream today or not. I was chatting with him earlier this morning. He did a speech last week or so, or last weekend, over at some colleges over in Oregon. And he had been talking about our end of the process of making the Heroes woodblock prints. And because this is a topic of discussion, recently he had mentioned as part of his speech or presentation that Dave has found some old wood blocks, is planing them off, and is using the wood to make new woodblock prints. And I was very surprised. He said, Dave, you should understand that I got some real strong blowback on that. And I'm like, what do you mean, Jed? He said, well, we're at this college and there's people who are doing antiquities and studying history and things like that. And these people are focused on these older things. And he said some of those people were actually visibly angry during my speech. They asked questions because Dave is destroying things that should be preserved. I'm destroying these antiques. And it's an interesting question. I myself hadn't really thought about it too seriously, but it's an interesting point which I guess I should be careful to address this. Am I destroying something valuable just to make something new? You know, am I a grave robber, looter, looting, you know, some blah, blah, blah. Okay, I didn't think so, but now that the question is on the table, I should try and express what I'm doing here. We've got old wood blocks all the time. I've got some wood blocks here that are absolute treasures that I will guard with my life to the end, that I will not destroy. There are wood blocks and there are wood blocks. The wood blocks that we found that have individual, value. A wood block, I didn't prepare one here. You saw it last week, the wood block of Harada-san, who was carving that last thing he did. That individual wood block is something unique and interesting, and we can learn many things from it. Then of course I will preserve that wood block. I wouldn't even dream of scratching it, let alone tear it apart. There is another genre, and that's the one I've got on here, where each individual, it is Karen-chan, so, where the value of these things to us is not in each individual one. The genre of woodblocks, we have tens of thousands of these things left here in warehouses in Japan. So the genre has value to us. I'm trying to explain. Jed, in his speech last week, he talked about the fact that we're cleaning up old woodblocks, planing them and reusing them. And he got some real strong blowback from some of the people who are, whatever, historians, antiquity studying, Davis destroying old stuff. He's looting the. And I mean, whatever. I'm not angry at this thing, because if you don't know what's going on, then it sounds like a bad thing. We're destroying old, valuable stuff.
Right.
I was just trying to explain right now, sort of, to put it simply, there's two types. A block where the value of that block is in the individual block, that one we got from Harada-san.
Right.
I've already learned about carving things from there. There's historical interest in that specific block.
Right.
So those kind of blocks I would never, ever, ever, ever even scratch, even touch. But this one is an example. We've got tens of thousands of these. You can see, actually, maybe you can see where it is. The registration marks are crooked here. What this was it was a curved piece of paper that was put in this, and this is one color that was printed. It's one of the blocks from a broken set, which now no longer exists, that was used to print a fan. A sensu fan, or perhaps a summer uchiwa, something like that. And this is an example of the woodblock prints as the printing business. This was not the woodblock print to make an art object designed by a famous artist and to be collected by people. It was part of the printing business. So before you get angry at me, the fact that I've split this up yesterday on the bandsaw in Ome, and that I'm now going to plane off the front of this and make a new Ukiyo-e Heroes print out of it. This is for the new Ukiyo-e Heroes print.
Cool.
2 souls, what's it called? Entwined souls. This will be a living block that makes a new woodblock print. But my point being that here we are. What we did on the bandsaw, we split it, bang, on the bandsaw, and it is now opened up. And these faces will now be glued down to a new plywood core. And once they're glued onto the plywood core, we will then plane off the front surface to be flat. And it will be a new woodblock print.
Is this one thick enough to do that?
It's just barely. What we've done is Ariama and I are still learning how to do this. You can see, maybe you can see,
it's a new
the bandsaw has drift.
Yeah.
It drifted. We are trying to learn how to do this. I'm trying to tell 2 stories at the same time. We set the bands up at 90 degrees. It turns out you can't do this. Because no matter how carefully you do this, the bandsaw, there's more teeth on one side than the other, whatever. It starts to go left a little bit.
Right.
So what you have to do, you have to learn how to use your bandsaw on your blade, adjust the table. So it isn't 90 degrees, it's 86.5 degrees or whatever, blah, blah. And we learned how to do it. It's one of the first ones we did. And over the course of the day, we learned how to set this, set this, so push slowly, not too fast. Anyway, to go back to what I'm saying was, look at this block not as a wonderfully, delicately, should be preserved artifact from the Japanese woodblock past. This is a printing plate used in the 1950s to make a fan for the summer festival. Bam, make your 500 fans, throw away the plates. Most of the plates, simply, they went in the stove or they were just thrown away. Some got left behind, they're going to get thrown away now instead of being thrown away in the 1950s.
Yeah.
It's a printing plate that's used up.
Yep.
And just, the genre of these objects, we can learn from it. We can learn what kind of pigments. We can learn how deep they carved, and we can learn. Look at this guy. He kept 4 fingers because they were working so fast. They didn't want to take any chance of banging this, so they spent a bit more time carving so they could make the printing a little bit faster. So from the genre, there's things I can learn, but from this individual plate, I can learn next to nothing.
Yeah.
And there are so many left. So anyway, this is the long story short. We are using whatever. 5%, or I don't even have a number. We're using a very small amount of plates that are left to make new boards, to create new. And my God, when Subi-san sees this today, she's just going to have she's going to enjoy this.
She's going to enjoy this
because it's smooth, it's clean. Oh my God. She's just going to say, when can we start?
Yeah.
And this wood will come to life again in the next Ukiyo Heroes print. So yeah, we're removing 1% of the value of the old stuff, and we're adding 100% of the value for new stuff. This was done in the old days, of course. They started with fat blocks, worked on them until they were worn out, planed them down, did it again, and planed them down.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, that's our story.
Were there some new people who reacted to it, who had joined the stream today, or were you just talking about it?
Just how you get there. I think there were new members, new people, and the regular members have been explaining what's going on. I think
things moving around, didn't they?
I brought a few. This is one that's a bit older. Going by the way, this is pre-war probably. I guess a broken set. We just had one block from a set that would have been 5-10 prints originally. We don't even know. So it's totally, absolutely not usable at all.
Yeah. What good does it do to have one color layer of a fan?
Well, it's not, but that's not why we keep old broken shards of pottery. Of course, you don't keep the old pottery to drink from. You keep the old pottery to study from.
Yeah.
And as I said, the genre, we have lots to study from.
Yeah.
Each individual block has next to no value. So. My God, they're rich. And you can see the printers. And as this was really, really worn out block, they must have made, oh my God, tens of thousands of copies from this. And you can see the places where, as the top wears out, some of the bottom parts start to bang. So these scooping things, these are not scoops that were made by the carver. These are scoops that were made by a printer. Carvers leave a block with generally a basically smooth surface, something like this. That's these leftover marks are carvers' marks.
Yeah.
These scoops here, it's a printer. Yeah. Saying to us, "Oh fuck, it's going on. You got to dig it a bit deeper, right here. Scoop, 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 scoop."
Got it.
Frustration.
Yeah.
Because it happens when you're making so many copies.
Right. Suga-san will have a very loud
Yeah, in fact, she should be here. Is she coming today? Yeah, she is coming today. So you might get a chance to find out exactly. Let's
how will she react?
Yeah, how she's going to react. And that's exactly what she's going to say. And this one too. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. Look at this. It's just junk. It's worn out, used, broken, brittle junk. And we've now opened her up, and inside is another beautiful, smooth.
These ones look like they have a lot less drift.
Well, we got better at it. I got better at it. Yeah.
That's great.
There's not much thickness left. I think, I don't have my guitar calipers here, but I think there's about 4 millimeters left. And it could be there. That's probably not. There's about 2 millimeters left there. So when we glue this on here, we start planing down, we will not be able to go that far. So we will end up with a block that's flat with a couple of holes in it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. As long as we have a good selection of blocks, we can mix and match.
Right.
Because myself, when I start carving, I need areas that I have to dig away. So we will just mix and match to try and find the places that, that match. And we are all really looking forward to it. Kawasaki-san Carver, next year's subscription series we're going to do on these old blocks. The printers are just, oh my God. We can't wait to get started.
That's great. Everyone's going to enjoy this new pieces of wood.
Mostly the carvers.
Koringami asked, have you tried splitting one of the already planed blocks?
Yes, in fact, here we are. I'm just picking it up. Are you mind reading or am I? No, I'm mind reading. so, here's another example, and that needs a bit of explanation. The blocks I just showed you, blocks as they were left, untouched. The source I'm getting these from down in Kyoto, these are all Kyoto carving. We would never use pigment like that here in Tokyo.
Yeah, it looks very, very
bright.
Yeah, bold almost. I don't know.
And the source I'm getting them, he thought he was doing me a favor by sending them out to a planer. And they're not hand planed, they're rough planed. And no, he's not doing me a favor at all, because doing it, once you send it out to a planer, he was thinking we were going to use these as they are, carve and carve. We can't do that. It's now way too thin. They're going to dance and twist and distort all over the place. We're going to use this material to make good, new, strong, stable blocks. But once they've already planed it out, this thing's now thin. It's really difficult for us to get it into our bandsaw to split. And in the box, we got 8 boxes in Oma yesterday. We found about 10 pieces of wood where there was about 13 millimeters left. And all the rest are planed down to about 1 centimeter. And that doesn't give us enough body to get in there with our bandsaw.
Oh, no.
So we're going to be able, the ones that are 1 centimeter, all we can do is paste one on one side, one on the other half, take 5 millimeters off it. We're going to lose half the wood.
Yeah.
That's a tragedy. And I have no idea what image was on it. That's gone down in the workshop in Kyoto.
Yeah.
So I told him, do not ever do this again. He said, okay, Kath, I was trying to be helpful, you know.
Yeah.
And he destroyed half of the wood value by trying to be helpful. Anyway, this is one. The bandsaw thickness is gone. We've got a bandsaw cut of about 2 millimeters. So this was about that thickness. And Aoyama-san and I, after we had a good day experience, we managed to work out how to do this. And we have now got a good blend. So this will now go. And what we'll do now, we'll paste it. We'll probably paste those sides onto the core and do our final dressing on this new exposed side. So one old block has become one new block. 1 to 1.
Got it, yeah.
One old block became one new block. The ones that are too thin, one old block is going to be half of a new block.
Got it.
And there's another interesting thing came up on us. Once we can see, once they planed it off, look at this. What do we see here?
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a hole in the wood. What's going on? And what it must have been before they planed this off, there was probably lettering or something on here, and the original carver screwed up one of the letters. Whoops! So he chopped the hole out, put a plug in, and recarved the letter. And the plug was never glued in; they're just held in by friction fit.
Right.
And once they planed it, the plug popped out. So no problem. We'll just work around this place, you know.
Yeah. Can you replug it, or is it not worth the trouble?
At this point, no, because if we. Yeah, as I said, we're going to use this for a new image, and I'll pick for an image that has just color areas here, you know. Okay. Once I get a good bunch of these blocks on the table, we will pick and choose and pick and choose. It's like the Octopus, you know, whatever we saw. The block I'm using right now, one of the blocks we used here had a big hole carved in it. So we just choose the area where the hole is not in a place that we need. So it's okay. So I don't need a full selection of perfect blocks. Every block we get for using doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
Because we're never carving the full surface of it. Yeah. I need a perfect block for that sky block, which is going to have to be blue all over the whole thing. Right. We just need to pick and choose. When I bought blocks from the planers in the old days, of course, they were perfect across the surface because they don't know what you're going to do with it. But it's just part of the job. Most of it ends up being destroyed. It's a bit sad, but it's just part of the process. That octopus block I just did, you know, that will be preserved. This is all waste. Yeah. That's just the way it is, you know. Got it. So anyway, there are still going to be people out there who I think probably who are going to disagree with what we do. I can't really help that. I can't please everybody all the time. I understand the point, and if I myself didn't know what was going on and I heard that somebody was just destroying old stuff, I would probably say, come on, work out a way where we don't have to do that. Yeah. But in real practical terms, my God, there's so many of them. Yeah. They just, you know. We told that same story. Was it on the stream the other day where I went out to visit one of my customers, and he said, "Get your shovel. We'll go and dig up some of this old pottery." Remember? I talked about that story.
No, I don't think so.
Whatever. I don't want to. It's too much of the same story. So I've got a bunch of Jomon era pottery at home, dug up by one of my customers in a field near his house. And I'm like, "We're not supposed to do this," and he said, "It's okay then." The archaeologists have got their area, and they've left one corner of the field where they know it's nothing valuable for the city people to go in and dig up and pick up their own pieces of pottery. Because that area has so much of it. It was like a garbage area, and they've picked through it. The archaeologists have picked through to learn what they can learn. Yeah. And now there are just 10 billion shards of Jomon pottery left in this other area. So go ahead, just take it. Just take it. The museums can't take 10 billion pieces of broken Jomon pottery. You know, they've learned what they need to learn about it. You know, it's a sort of similar thing. There's too much of this for any conceivable use by museums and historians. There's just too much of it. As I said, the genre itself has taught us plenty. Now the individual objects, there's nothing we can learn from. So I can get back to my carving, can I? We're still time here. I get back to what I was doing here.
9:07. So looks like. Okay, Frozen Runner asked a little bit ago. Sorry about that. how deep do the colors go into the wood? Do they go in at all?
Oh, you mean the pigment? How far down does it go? It goes down, 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 down. And it, depending on whatever, it depends. There's different kinds of pigments, different kinds of printing, different kinds. They go right in there. Yeah.
Okay.
And when we are planing off some of these things, when we're planing off, you have to get down there a little while, 1 millimeter or so, before you get to actually clean raw bare wood. So.
And the red one, sorry, I think it had some sort of, what is this around the edges? Is that just pigment drying out?
It's crusted pigment, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not the way we print. What we do is...
This is Kyoto pigments again.
Yeah. Oh, no, and also that particular printer, he's rubbed the area, and as you rub with your brush, pigment sort of spreads out a little bit, forms little mountains around it.
Yeah.
My habit, and I try to train our printers, is you pull back from that mountain, scoop it back in, scoop it back in, and use it.
Okay.
But he's just let it go. So he's got this crusted ring all the way around the outside. And normally after every long printing session, you take it to the sink and wash it, and you come back. At some point, he has said, "This is
couldn't be bothered.
This is it. That thing has been retired, so just whatever, toss it in the scrap heap without washing it."
Huh. Okay.
And that's interesting because there are people who are studying the old pigments. There was an NHK story about this a while ago. Some old blocks had been found in a warehouse somewhere in Ibaraki or whatever. Yeah. And Katsuhara-san heard about this. He went over there. Oh my God, it's my chance to study what pigments were being used in like 1858, the last time that was printed.
Right.
So yes, this kind of thing also exists. That old block, if that had been planed off, it would have destroyed some really, really interesting historical information.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. We're not mindlessly doing this.
Yeah.
Where there is information or something interesting to be kept, absolutely. I would not even think of planing these off.
Yeah.
I mean, those blocks went into the National Museum. You know, that was a real find.
Ken Howard says, sometimes there's a fine line between people who are passionate about historic preservation and hoarders. Just people who hold on to everything. I guess that's probably true.
All I can say is, please trust me, we're not destroying anything of value. We're adding much more value, I think. That's all I can say. I do know what I'm doing. And already some of them that were set to be planed off, already those old Harada blocks that came in, I saw that and said, this is not going to be planed over my dead body. Because look at this. And I start pointing out, look at this, look at this, look at this. And the other people around didn't know that. So my God, my balance on this is fine. I'm responsible for preserving stuff that would have been destroyed. So.
Someone asked, do you use a drum sander or a blade type thickness planer? It's the blade type.
What we're doing, we will glue this down on a new face, and we're just going to use a normal desktop Ryobi planer to take off whatever waste wood we need first. Just a normal desktop planer to take off waste wood, to bring it down to the thickness we need.
Right.
And then we've been doing it two different ways. I think we've talked about this. I was using myself a cabinet scraper to do the final scraping on this, but we've come up with a better alternative. And Aoyama-san found this guy in Kiba with a new tool. It's I don't even know the name for it. It's I don't know, the one with
it sucks the wood in and just chops off the top.
Yeah. No, it's a plain blade mounted upside down on a bed.
Right.
It doesn't rotate. It's a single unrotating slice plain blade mounted upside down on a bed. And above this, there's a roller unit that grabs the block and fires it across this.
The roller.
Yes.
Would be on top and just
the
suck
blade,
it.
Yeah, the plain blade's underneath. That's right. Yeah. The blade is underneath.
Yeah, the blade's up here, and so just cuts it all off, and you get
one
big wood chip, basically.
Yes, slice, not a chip.
Slice,
it's a slice. And because the blade doesn't rotate, it can be much finer, and you set it for it's a slice. It slices, And it does a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job. He's done a really, really good job for us. So we've switched to that for the final finishing of all these blocks. We glue them up ourselves. We do the rough planing to thickness ourselves, leaving a rippled, wavy surface. We send him over there, and he runs them through that machine. And he's hip to what we're doing. He's interested in our work. He said, oh my God, I can do that. Yeah, let me try and see what I can do. He's not just, he's interested in our work.
Yeah. remember Aoyama-san showing me a video of it. It was just fun to watch. It just sucks it in and does it all in one quick cut.
So we should then. Have we got, do we have this video?
No, I think it was just on YouTube. He said it was an advertisement video for the machine.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
well maybe we should incorporate some of that into one of our next videos.
Yeah,
or
I think that would be
block
really cool.
preparation or something. You know. I'm a little nervous now. Do we make a video about our block preparation and we're going to find we're shut down on YouTube because we're ravaging old objects or something? I don't know. I'm a bit more nervous about YouTube this week than I've been before.
Yeah. Small and round, so you can see a difference in the quality of the wood in the old blocks compared to the one you're doing right now. Don't know.
You can? I don't know if I can see it.
See it from this video.
It's more a feel. I don't know. I mean, it's not that
There's
all
the
these
difference in
old
color,
blocks are
or-
perfect. Even the one I just showed you right there. There's this area with a knot. And then there's to the rig. There's a
Not the same.
this one. There's a bad. There was a. So you can see. Let me see. He's carved against the wood grain and chipped out a piece. And we've got some nashi moyo. We should really try to explain that. I know. We'll save it for later, I guess. I know. We want to see, here we go, this zone right here. What kind of wood grain pattern you see here? See this sort of, I don't know how to describe it in words.
Yeah.
These speckly sort of areas.
Yeah.
This is what we call nashi moyo. I don't know where the name came from. This is good, smooth, clean wood that will print perfectly smooth.
Right.
This kind of pattern sometimes impresses. When we're printing light colors, it will come out in the color. So we want to avoid that.
So it leaves speckles instead
In the
of
color, yes. So this is not a perfect block. And here we go. Here. This is nashi moyo. Is it visible?
Okay. Yeah, that one's much more visible.
Moyo means pattern.
Right.
Nashi is a kind of fruit. I don't know if it's or nashi, nothing. I don't know what the derivation of the word. What we want is this smooth, clear wood. Trying to find a place. Smooth, clear wood. And what we don't want is this. And if I saw a block like this is what we've been getting all the time in our new stuff. And Sugi-san will look at this and say, oh no, not again, not again. You know. So this new block we're going to make here has some areas. This area here will have nashi moyo, but it's at the edge of the block, so it's okay. The point being, we want to minimize that.
Yep.
Absolutely minimize it. I think when they're making violins, they're doing maple, they split the maple wood in the back, and this kind of grain pattern sometimes comes out, and they die for it, for making violins. I don't know the English word for this kind of pattern. It's a kind of, it's in the wood. You can't feel it. It looks bumpy, but you can't feel it.
Yeah.
And for maple back violins or whatever, it's something that's attractive to them. But for us as woodblock printmakers, it's just death.
Yeah.
So we try and avoid this.
Interesting.
And I don't know what caused it. It's something to do with the alignment of the cell structures. You know, when you mow your lawn with a lawnmower, you go up and down and up and down and up and down, and the grass leans this way and leans that way. It looks different, reflective colors.
Right.
And this is something like this inside the cell structure of the wood. I have no idea.
Okay.
But for us, no, this is an area that we would just never use. And the more of this there is, the less that block is going to be useful for us.
Got it. Sorry, I keep interrupting the carving, but
Where am I?
interesting to learn all about these.
Knife is nice and sharp now. I broke it just before you came in.
Nice.
I was chatting too much or whatever, not paying attention.
Cleanly reshaped.
Just going around one of these corners a bit too sharply.
Tiger maple or bird's eye might be the name of the pattern. I don't know.
Something like that, yes. It's on that order, I think.
It's an animal.
No, I don't know enough about it. But when we were using guitars, I didn't use maple for guitars, but I was reading up about instrument making and stuff. And violins, it seems, using maple. There's certain kinds of patterns that come up.
Interesting.
But for us, because they come up in a color, they're a bug for us. They're not a feature. They're a feature for violin makers. For us, it's a bug.
Got it. Quoting Gummy says, Dave was telling us some touching stories about his daughters when the knife point snapped. So then I guess you've been on tangents since then, haven't come back to the stories about your daughters.
I think we finished it. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to tell it all again. I'll tell you if you want. But just a story about a magic trick. I don't even know how we got started. I don't know. I have no idea how we got started on that story. I don't remember.
Okay.
I was chatting with her just this morning. She phoned me about 7:30, and I'm like, ooh, I got a stream at 8 o'clock. But she knew. She just
Just a quick call.
Yeah, Clara sound. And my new granddaughter is sort of at a new stage. She's like lifting up her head and geeking around. So what my daughter did was she put the camera on the floor, started a Skype call. And my face comes up, and she wanted to see if Clara was going to start crying, because she's at one of these stages where when strangers come near, she's crying and stuff.
Right.
So Humi's a little bit afraid about it. She's coming here next month. So she's trying to get Clara a little bit. This is your granddad. This is your granddad. Don't start crying when you see him next month or whatever, So I think that was a bit of warm up this morning for that. And the kid was fine. I'm imagining this. The kid's got her hands on the mat on the carpet, looks up at the iPhone. And she's really just trying to support herself, but she lifts up one hand, and I'm like, "Wow, my granddaughter is waving at me!" Wow, wow.
That's so funny.
It's not my first grandchild. I've got two grandsons who are much older than that. They're about, what are they now, 14 and 12 or something? I think I can't remember exactly. And they're not so much interested in chatting with their granddad, so they're busy with their own lives very much. So.
Sounds like the shoe lady possibly being a man as a magic trick is what started everything.
Oh, I see. Soka, I don't remember. The point being, we shouldn't discover who she is. I was saying I should go and wait outside one day, and they're saying, don't do it. It's better to be...
Let it be a mystery.
Yeah, leave it as a mystery. And she was, I think, early. I got to be more careful. I think the other day I said 8:15 or so is her time or something. I was just blowing smoke off the top of my head. And today I think it was about 8:08. So I think they're going to start a lottery. Somebody started a Google Docs sheet to see what time the shoe lady comes. I got to be careful. We're going to get arrested for stalking or something. Be careful with this. So.
Stalking from your own shop.
Can you stalk by sound? Is that possible? I don't know. Oh, Shiba-san. So it's Wednesday. So yeah. Shiba-san, you're the last one in the show. Say hello. News. This is Shiba-san. This is Shiba-san. Those of you who know her, you know her. Those of you who don't know, this is the young lady who works for us who makes her own woodblock prints. Like that's in the Ghost series. She's making 3 or 4 prints in her Ghost series. And the update, she has currently been working on the new print in the series, which I saw yesterday for the first time. I was in Ome. She was out there in Ome printing it. Yes, she's doing test printing on it. It's not finished yet.
Just to keep up or everything?
No. I saw the finished first proof. So it is getting closer.
All right.
Shiba-san, when will it be ready? It's a dekiagari desu ka? Wait. What's this? T-shirt. What? Alert.
Can you see the shirt? It's an owl. The owl is in a dream?
Is it visible? I can't see what you guess.
A little bit, yeah. It's fairly dark.
We're sitting here looking at your chest. I'm sorry. 今、渋さんの胸がちょっとごめん。いや、青の話出てくるとみんな、去年のミミズクの話の次ですか。
本当だ。じゃあこれユニフォームにしようかな。
Let's make this the uniform for everybody because it's got an owl on it.
何キャラクターですか？
いや、どうだろう。
It says what? An owl. What does it say?
An owl is hooting in the forest.
But it would say other
Other working life or waking life.
Other waking life. An
Owl is in a dream. Other
There's
waking
three
life.
catchphrases on one T-shirt. They couldn't figure out which one to use, so they put them all on there.
Yep.
今までここ見えてなかった絵しか見えてなかった書いてあった
She's never noticed the words before on her
okay.
shirt, only the picture of the owl.
Yeah, go in, so to be sidetracked. Anyway, her print is
It's coming along.
coming along. So I asked her yesterday, can I have one for scanning and stuff? She says, no, not yet. So, so.
まだ色も直さないとね
Okay.
スキャンしてとかでいつできるかな
It's okay, no rush. Anyway, it is coming. The next print in her Ghost series is coming along. This one is much more gruesome. Up to now, they've been quiet. 今までのものは静かな作品ですが、今回は結構。
そうアクションあるでしょ
This one features action, death, and axe. It features blood. Not my taste really, but whatever. I know, Nari. What's the word for axe? What's an axe in Japanese? I forget the Japanese word for it.
斧まあなった斧
I meant to ask you that yesterday. The axe has been chopping. He's lifting it over his head for the final stroke, and the axe is dripping blood, and the blood is blue.
そうブルークモちゃんの体液はまあ透明だったりちょっと青みがかってるんですよなので血じゃなく
Translation, please, Karen.
It's not real blood, but the fluid inside of the spiders is a little blue, so that's why it's blue.
In real life, is
青
this
っ
the
ていうかまあ
case?
透明なのかな
透明
調べてみた
It's rather
ら
clear, yeah.
青みがかった透明って書いてあったから
Okay, tell me. Spiders don't actually have blood because they don't
Right. You've got a
circulate
clear
oxygen,
fluid.
right? Okay.
Some clear liquid
そう
inside.
だからブルーにして
Okay.
So she made it blue. Because you can't do clear liquid, then you won't see the liquid. You gotta show it.
Whatever. Anyway, coming soon to a woodblock print shop near you.
Perfect for Halloween.
そうか、ハロウィンの近くなったんです。
じゃあ10月中にはできますよ
She says now it'll be ready sometime in October.
All right.
I had to be careful too yesterday when I first saw it. I had to remember this is not a print that Mokohankan is publishing.
Right.
So I have to keep quiet. Now the prints we publish, I'm involved with the editing process. Now I
Right.
think, this color, blah, 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 blah. But this is absolutely nothing to do with me. So when I saw it last night, I had, in my mind, I had criticism. I think we should do this, I think we should do that. But of course, Dave, shut up. This is not
Shiba-san's print, not
so-
Mokohankan's print.
であと今日はラストの板を取らないといけないからまた上で今日カンカンやらせてもらいますよ
You got that.
夜ね
まあここでも What she said was just then too, she's not quite finished the last block. She's been doing test printing, but all the blocks just not finished. So, and because it's noisy, she can't do it at home, so she wants to work on the last block here tonight after working it. So
It's getting close though.
her expression, kang.
Kankan. Yeah. Bang, 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 bang.
So,
Persuader.
yes, exactly. So,
Does she have her own site for her prints? I don't think so.
I don't believe Instagram or something, I don't know.
No, she's not using that there.
Yeah, just up to us then.
Yeah.
渋さん、作品は他のところ見ることありますか？インスタグラムとか。
ホームページとか。
私はインスタグラムホームページも何も作ってないね
She doesn't have anything else.
No,
Right?
she's heavily into the self-promotion, obviously. Not.
Not. Yeah.
No, but we're doing it for her. She gets lots of exposure
オー
here.
ドリーさんに早くインスタグラムを自分でちゃんと作りなさいって毎回説明してますすいません
Audrey, one of our other staff members, is always telling me, you need to start an Instagram account.
Oh, that reminds me. Before I went to Oma yesterday, Monday night, Ishikawa-san had worked all day Monday on the loot print for October or whatever it is. And she was drying them. And what she did was, because there was nobody else around, she made a carpet of these things on the floor. So I came in the room and I'm like, I can't walk. And she looks at me and I look at her and I just said one word, Insta. So she says, so desu ne. So she ran to her camera and put it up.
Oh,
so
good.
That picture is she probably did it right there.
Okay, great. I will
So
see if I can get it from her.
do these guys know? It's on her. What's her Instagram account?
Yochin Soshin, say Yuchi Soshin, something
Can we
like
link
that.
to it now?
I'll see
Because
if
it was
I
a
can
cool
find it.
picture. There was like 10,000 of these prints all spread all over the floor. I just said to her, I just pointed straight at her face. I even played I said, Insta. And her face lit up. Yeah. Good idea.
So funny. Yuchin Soshi.
But is it there? Before you, is it? Refresh the thing. It's not. Is it there or is it not there?
Not there yet.
No, Ishikawa-san.
Her most recent one is number 9.
Okay.
Oh, maybe she's saving it until it's actually released because it's the.
Whatever. I just said do it.
今板が浅草の板出てますけど、
桃太郎
にチェンジ。
桃太郎
壊れちゃった。
も
アウト。
う out. It's finished. We retired it Monday afternoon. We had I meant to talk because we had a blog about this. We retired Momotaro Monday afternoon.
It's done.
あれですね。
After 4 years, Momotaro is now.
もう頑張っちゃった。お
What's the
疲
word
れ
to
様
use?
でした。
What's the old sketch from the Monty Python guys? The owl. This owl is no longer. It's it's a dead parrot. I forget the exact. It's been so many years since I've seen it.
Is it
Momotaro.
going to head this way, or is it
No.
too far gone?
For it's a thin block. It's got,
okay.
we can't reuse it.
R.I.P. Momotaro.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. R.I.P. Momotaro.
Yeah.
It's finished.
そっかそっか。
Audrey-san, good morning, good morning. Where's Suga-san? Did she go straight upstairs? I want to see her.
She sometimes does run
She
away.
does,
like that.
she does.
The pet shop sketch.
The parrot sketch, whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Yes, so.
It has shuffled off its mortal coil.
Yes, so whatever we're gonna. This is Momotaro, so I should have studied up on that before I opened the stream this morning. I could have shown everybody how well I remember this, but which I don't. Audrey-san, we've got one party at 2:30 today. They are people from the Tokyo Game Show. They were over here.
All right.
So we've, in fact, all this last week, we've had all kinds of people who were here for the game show, and because they know about us, they came in. So, and the show is finished now, so they've either gone home or they're now using their time for other stuff. So,
It is an experiment. Have you done any dinosaur prints? I don't think so. Not to my
and
knowledge.
Jed has books in print. He's done some children's books
Oh yeah.
on dinosaurs, and they're still in print. And they're not, if not bestsellers, they are steady sellers. I heard. Mm-hmm. I forget the name of them. I'm sorry, I'm not into kids' books these days much anymore. Does Ren have one?
No, I should find it. Ohio gozaimasu.
Yeah, there are Japanese versions.
Check it out.
Who is that?
I don't know. Oh. Looks like they're going to the kimono shop.
Yes. Happens all the time. I should say, come in, get undressed. We'll take care of you.
Cousin Octavia says, will you be carving a new Momotaro or?
No, it's history. It's finished, it's gone. Bing.
So, what is taking its place?
Well, at the moment, it's a souvenir print for Asakusa. People come to Asakusa, they want their souvenirs of the trip. So we have an image of Sensoji Temple and Skytree, which is the current active print party print.
Cool.
As those of you who have been regular viewers of the stream know.
Oh, hi,
Good morning.
buddy. This is heavy. What did you order?
I don't remember. What is it? Who's it from?
Privacy so I've never heard of that. It says ehon, so it's a picture book.
Oh, it's Okada Yoshio books.
Oh, okay.
It's not woodblock prints, it's books. We introduced Okada Yoshio, the guy who designed those woodblock prints. And he publishes lots of stuff. This is a set of kabuki books. You can show it if you like. It's not woodblock prints at all.
Get it open.
It's just that same designer who people in our stream seem to be really enjoying his work. And we just started to collect his books, with perhaps the thought at one point in the future, somewhere along the line, is which ones of these might make nice woodblock prints, and maybe I should talk to him and whatever.
Yeah.
So the particular book you're opening is not woodblock print reproductions. It's a set of 5 books on a specific kabuki play. So it'll just be of general interest to people who enjoyed Okada-san's work on my video last month.
Right.
And Shiba-san, when she sees it, she will explode.
Go crazy.
Oh my God, another one! Let's see it.
Okay.
In fact, that'll be worth seeing her face.
Yeah.
After you open it, get her closer, let her see it. Get the camera on her face as she sees this, because she's a real fan of his stuff.
whoever this mystery person is, I've never even heard of this. You can send it privately, so no one knows who is shipping it. It just says privacy haiso, private delivery.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
So it has who it was sent to, us.
Look at
and
that.
then from private with all the things, the whole
if you
address
buy,
except
wait a
Tokyo.
minute, if you buy something from Yahoo Auctions and they scam you, you don't have any way to find out who was sent it? What?
Yeah.
This is the post office?
This is the
allowing
post office.
anonymous shipping? Suppose it's full of anthrax powder. I mean, what?
But they
I've
must
never
know
seen
who it
it.
is.
So the post office has the shipper, but we don't get to see it.
Right.
Interesting. I've never seen that
Me
before.
neither. That is really interesting. Okay, here we go. Oh no. Kanji.
Shiba-san will know. So once you just get a crack it open, call her in, and she will easily explain to us exactly what it is. Okada-san has a spectacular body of work. In all his life, he's been doing like at least one major image every week because that's his contracts with the newspapers and stuff.
Wow. Is he still an active?
I don't know if he's still active. He's still alive. I don't know if he's still active. The last book published by him was a couple of years back. But
千葉さん、聞いてもらえますか？
このもの何ですか？先日ヤフオクで渋さん岡田義雄のもの好きでしょ？
大好き。
じゃあちょっと get her on camera first はい
あ、すごい。もう揃えたのこんなに。
そうセットです
これ歌舞伎シリーズですよ、全部歌舞伎。
じゃあ今僕ちょっと分かんないですから何
芋瀬山の
ちょっとこの人たちに説明して
でも私内容がねちゃんと分かってないよこれ。
おじさん is also 歌舞伎な
でもこれは忠臣蔵だから日本の三大仇討ちって言われている中の一つ、江戸の一番最後の、
これ忠臣蔵ですね。
そう忠臣蔵。
でもそうこれ千本桜です。じゃあ
義経のこれが
オ
義経の千本桜。
そうじゃあこれいつ何？
いるほら狐かっこいい。
一番人気の歌舞伎のストーリーですか？
そうです。これがすごく人気。
Let's see some pictures. Sure. Let's see some pictures. Throw me one.
すごい一気にそうですか。
忠臣蔵。おはようございます。
And if you've seen Okada-san's work that I showed you before, it's woodblock prints. You can notice the guy is just insane.
すごい素敵なの本当に岡田さんがこれを。
He just doesn't give up. It's patterns, colors. And one of his trademarks, we've got it right here. It's in almost every picture. There's a kimono here. And there's a kimono pattern. Look at that. In the kimono, there is an icho leaf. What's it called? A ginkgo tree.
Yeah, ginkgo tree.
But it's in the kimono, but it's also, no, wait a minute. They're here in the, he takes the patterns and throws them out into the actual scene itself. And here, there's a ginkgo leaf, but no, it's a butterfly. No, wait a minute. I don't even know what it is. He's so much fun with this. He just endlessly plays with these things.
Yeah,
and you can't tell
stories.
And you can't tell what's in the picture and what's out of the picture. The guy's holding a fan. It's got a picture of a ginkgo leaf on it. No, it's not. It's in the real world. No, it's not because it's. See what I mean?
Yeah.
He plays with all this stuff.
They're on the pattern of his.
Yeah, of course it's.
Yeah. Huh. Now let's do it as a woodblock print.
Well, that's my point. Every single one of his designs, and he's got tens of thousands of designs. Every single one could become a woodblock print. This is the tragedy of that series he made with Yu Yudo. They had so much stress, the two of them, back and forth. Okada-san demanded too much. The guy had to shut it down. And from my point of view, Okada-san demanded too much. If he'd have been a bit more reasonable, there would have been good woodblock prints, and there would have been a continuation. Many, many more prints would have been made.
Not just 4.
Not just 4. But because, to my mind, he was so demanding, it ended up, the project just didn't go. So I don't know. I don't know the inside story. I've just heard from each one of those guys, the other guy demanded too much. He considers himself the inheritor of the ukiyo tradition, as in Anu Tomorrow or a Shiraku.
Yeah.
And looking at this stuff, if the world had been different, these things huge numbers of them could have become woodblock prints.
Yeah.
If he'd have been willing to let go, do the designs, hand it over to us, and get out of our way.
Yeah.
ここにあるのはもう歌舞伎の中でも本当にポピュラーっていうすごい人気のあるやつだから
There's drama, there's emotion. I mean, I have no idea what the story is. It doesn't matter. Look, he's done the thing too. He's put the character's name is here. This is Hira, I don't know what the character is, the story. The woman is a courtesan. Her tissues have been thrown apart here. There's endless stories to discover. Oh, the colors. Oh my God, look at this stuff. It would just become such spectacular prints. This guy alone, he could feed a full workshop. I'm sure people would buy these things if we could get them out there at reasonable prices. Just this one illustrator alone could keep a whole workshop of carvers and printers going. No, it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
Right. They're all illustrated books showing the stories of famous kabuki plays.
And most of his work, it was done first as newspapers, Sunday supplements. Right. Newspapers do color stuff on Sundays showing stories. So these are, I think they were Tanabe Seiko. Who's the Hashimoto, I forget the guy's name. I don't know. The writer, the rewriter. No. Here.
Yeah. Hashimoto.
Oh, so Hashimoto, I don't know. I can't remember. So they've got a modern author to put the stories into, render it into modern Japanese. Right. So each Sunday in the newspaper there was one episode each Sunday, and this has now become books after after the newspaper story is finished.
Hashimoto Osamu.
So before, with the literary stuff, he worked with Tanabe Seiko, with all the poetry stories and the old Genji stories. And with the kabuki, he's working with this guy.
Okay.
And it's a spectacular body of work.
Did you buy them brand new?
No, it's Yahoo Auctions. Just somebody put them up. Yeah.
But they're perfect condition.
Well, that's used books. I mean, people look at it and put it on their shelf and never look at it again.
2010, that's fairly recent.
He's got, there's over 100 books. And just we're getting them together, one by one. We're picking them up. So we'll have a nice Okada library here.
Fun.
I think I'm pretty much done. That tentacle is done. So I think we'll leave it there. That tentacle is now finished. I've got a little small batch here to do, and then I've got to head over to the head. The two heads I've got to do. But the next stream, today is Wednesday morning. The next stream, I don't know, oh my God, what have I got to do? I've got to get going in the gift print. Yeah. So it might be pasting down the punch for the gift print. I might be tracing the gift print on the iPad still. I haven't finished that job. I don't have any sizing to do tomorrow. That's coming up in a few days. I've got to do the color transfers. After this wood is ready, I've got to do the color transfers for the two souls entwined.
Right.
What else have I got to do? There's lots and lots of work. Maybe tomorrow, maybe I'll be upstairs gluing some of these planks down.
Oh, wow.
To get some blocks going. I don't know. There will be a stream tomorrow. What the content will be, I don't quite know. But there will be a stream tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. A bit of a chaotic stream today. If my mom's still here, hi, Mom. I know we had the teddy bear out earlier in the stream.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so.
Okay, we will see you all next time.
I better sign off and get to it. It's going to be another busy day in the shop today. So, thanks again, guys. Thanks very much for your cooperation and pleasure in taking part in these things.
Yeah.